I always feared the day the truth would unearth itself. Not through words, not through a trembling confession, but through something as cold and clinical as a DNA test. When the envelopes arrived, neatly sealed, harmless in appearance, I felt my stomach fold into itself. My husband, Michael, laughed as he held the kits, joking about discovering Viking ancestry or royal blood. The children teased one another, eager to compare results and heritage like it was some lighthearted game. Only I felt dread brewing deep in my bones. By the time the results came through, the excitement in our home felt like the crisp breeze before a brutal storm. My daughter Emma was the first to shout from the living room, "Mom, Dad, the results are in." Her voice echoed, bright and unaware of the devastation only moments away. The television screen displayed their names, their identified relatives, or the lack of them. Michael's smile faltered as the numbers appeared. No genetic match. Not with Emma, nor with Jacob, nor with Lily. His eyes widened, confusion overtaken by disbelief, then horror. He stared at me. Time slowed. I heard nothing but my heartbeat crashing in my ears. 3 red lines on that screen felt like death sentences. I wanted to speak, to explain, to beg for a moment to breathe, but the silence around me hardened like ice. My children's faces twisted in confusion. My husband's in betrayal, and mine in terror. "I don't understand," Emma whispered. "Dad, does that mean?" The room imploded with questions, shouting, tears. Michael's voice roared with agony. I collapsed under the weight of a truth I had buried for nearly 3 decades. The perfect Harris family, the photos, the vacations, our Sunday dinners, all of it shattered like glass dropped from a skyscraper. I tried to breathe, to gather strength to admit what could never be undone. "I have something to tell you." My voice cracked, barely human. Michael stepped away from me like I was poison. That was the moment I realized perfection was a fragile lie, and ours had just met its brutal end. The past I thought I buried had clawed its way back, demanding to be acknowledged. I had spent years convincing myself it was gone forever. I was wrong. Very wrong. This was only the beginning. The living room, once filled with laughter and the glow of family togetherness, now felt like a courtroom. Every breath I took felt like an admission of guilt. My children stared at me as if I were a stranger who had broken into their home wearing their mother's face. Michael's voice quivered with rage. "Tell me this isn't real, Anna. Say something." Words. The simplest human tool, yet suddenly I found none. I looked at each of them. Emma, the eldest, always the peacemaker. Jacob, calm and logical. Now trembling Lily, my youngest, tears streaming as her world collapsed. "I loved you," I finally whispered. "I always loved you." "That's not an answer," Michael barked, his pain erupting into venom. "Who is their real father?" The ghost of a man long buried rose in my memory. I tasted fear again, like metal on my tongue. "There was a time before you," I murmured, eyes fixed on the floorboards. "It's a time I tried to forget." Michael scoffed. "Forget? You built a whole life on a lie." Emma grabbed his arm. "Dad, please." Jacob stepped toward me. "Mom, why hide something like this?" I stared at my hands, these aging hands that once cradled newborn heads, cooked meals, wiped tears. Hands that built a life out of hope and desperation. "It wasn't supposed to go this far." My voice cracked. "When I met your father, I was already pregnant. I planned to tell him. Every day, I planned to tell him. But then he proposed. He saved me. You were my second chance." Michael staggered as if struck. "All 3. "None of them are mine." I nodded, shame crushing every bone in my body. He laughed, a bitter, broken laugh that frightened me. 30 years? 30 years I raised them, loved them, protected them, thinking they were mine. His tears dripped to the floor. That sound, his heartbreak hitting wood, will haunt me forever. Emma wrapped her arms around her siblings. They looked at me like I was a dangerous animal cornered in their home. I reached out, but Lily stepped back. "Don't touch me." My chest caved in. I never wanted to hurt you, I whispered to Michael. You destroyed me, he said, cold and hollow. Then he walked out. The door slammed so hard, a picture frame fell from the wall, the one from our 20th anniversary. The frame cracked, just like our life. He left the house, and silence flooded in like a poisonous gas. My children retreated upstairs, leaving me alone with ghosts. I knew exactly where my story must begin. Not here. Not with Michael. With him. His name was Daniel Carter. 29, fresh out of a painful breakup and clinging to whatever scraps of hope I could find. Daniel was wildfire disguised as charm. Handsome, influential, with a smile that could melt reason. The kind of person who could pull the world's spotlight toward him without trying. He told me he loved me. He told me we'd build a family together. He told me lies. When I found out I was pregnant, his face changed. All warmth evaporated. His love came with conditions, control, cruelty. If you keep that child, I'm done, he said. I kept the child. He vanished. I was alone, terrified, abandoned, until Michael entered my life like calm water, soothing a burning shore. He had a gentle soul, a heart too big for his own good. He accepted me pregnant, no questions asked. Emma was born into his arms, and he called her his daughter without hesitation. Then I made the worst decision of my life. I never told him the truth. Years flowed like a river. Jacob came, then Lily. All conceived during a short and foolish attempt to rebuild my connection with Daniel, who returned each time claiming he wanted to be a father, only to disappear again. My shame buried itself deeper every year. Every school play, every family trip, every bedtime story cemented the lie. I convinced myself truth would only hurt everyone, so why speak it? Now the truth was here, screaming through DNA. Upstairs, I heard Emma crying. It's the kind of cry a mother never forgets. The sound of trust dying. I pressed a hand to my chest as if I could hold myself together. Then my phone buzzed. A number I hadn't seen in decades. Daniel Carter. The message read, "We need to talk." The past wasn't just returning. It was coming to claim everything. Morning light came, but it brought no warmth. I brewed coffee out of habit, though my hands shook so violently the spoon clattered against the mug. The house felt foreign. My children came downstairs like cautious visitors facing a monster. Mom, Jacob said, voice tight. Dad isn't answering our calls. I'll find him. He just needs time. I tried to sound confident, but the words wobbled. Emma's red-rimmed eyes narrowed. Time won't change what you did, sweetheart. Don't call me that, she snapped. You lied every day of our lives. Lily hovered behind them, hugging herself. Do you even love Dad? Every syllable pierced me. More than anything, he is the love of my life. Jacob shook his head. You didn't respect him. You robbed him of the truth. Emma gestured angrily. Do we even deserve the truth? Or is that another thing you think we can't handle? I will answer everything, I whispered. Ask me anything. Jacob went first. Why didn't you tell us when we were older? Because every year the lie was heavier. And I was weaker. Emma, who is he? Our biological father. I closed my eyes. His name is Daniel. Lily's voice trembled. Is he a good person? No. That one syllable shattered whatever fantasy might have shielded them. Jacob scoffed. So we're the result of a horrible mistake. No, never. I rushed forward, but Emma stepped between us. We need space, she said, voice like a locked door. All three walked out. The silence that followed was unbearable. I curled onto the floor, sobbing into my hands. My whole identity, mother, wife, protector, had turned to ash. The doorbell rang. I hoped it was Michael. It wasn't. Daniel stood there. A smirk crept across his face, as if he had been waiting for this moment his entire life. Daniel walked into my home like he owned it, eyes scanning the decor, the photographs, the evidence of the life I built without him. Nice place, he remarked. Shame, it's built on lies. My skin crawled. Leave. You have no right to be here. He chuckled. No right. I'm the biological father of your kids. Seems I have every right. He stepped closer. He still smelled of expensive cologne and rot beneath the surface. This disaster of yours came at the perfect time, he said. I always knew Michael was too good to be true. He wouldn't survive the truth. He's weak. He's more of a man than you ever were, I spat. Daniel laughed. Yet I'm the one whose genes carried on. Interesting, isn't it? I wanted to slap him, but fear anchored my hand. What do you want? I demanded. A relationship with my kids, he replied with a slick smile. You deprived them of me. You deprived them of yourself when you abandoned me, I hissed. He shrugged. People change. I have wealth now. Influence. I can provide. You never once asked about Emma. Or the others. His smile dropped into something darker. Don't test me, Anna. That nice suburban world of yours is collapsing. Michael will leave. The kids will hate you. I'm the only one left. No. My voice grew steel. You will not ruin them? I already did, he said softly. The moment you let them be born, the venom in his tone froze the air. Daniel wasn't here for love. He came to conquer. The debris, he leaned in. You're going to help me? Never. His smile slithered back. Michael is a smart man, working in law all these years. He knows where to hurt you. Legally, financially, your kids could be taken from Hugh. You wouldn't. I don't need to, he said. He will. A cold truth struck. Daniel didn't need to be the villain. My own sins were enough. He stepped back, satisfied with the destruction already unfolding. I'll be back, he said, heading for the door. Tell them their father says hello. As the door shut behind him, I collapsed again. This time, not from guilt. From fear. That night, the house creaked under a silence that felt like morning. Then the front door opened. Michael appeared, eyes swollen, hair disheveled, hands shaking with a storm he tried to contain. We need to talk, he said, voice dangerously calm. I nodded, terrified. He sat across from me, placing documents on the table, not divorce papers, worse. He planned to erase me. You lied. You stole fatherhood from me. I can't stay married to someone who gutted my life like this, he said, each sentence a blade. Tears blurred my vision. Michael, please, no. His voice cracked. I spent 30 years loving those kids. I still do. But you, I don't know who you are. He slid the documents toward me. A petition requesting that I be removed from legal guardianship due to fraud and emotional endangerment. My breath left me. You're taking my children away. You already took them from me, he said, eyes hollow. I was scared. I sobbed. I didn't want to lose you. You lost me anyway, he whispered. Emma's voice interrupted. She stood at the doorway, eyes blazing. You can't do this, Dad. Jacob and Lily appeared beside her. Lily took my hand for the first time since the truth emerged. Mom made terrible choices, Jacob said, but she gave everything to raise us. Emma nodded. You both did. You don't get to throw her out. Michael stared at them, stunned. For the first time since the reveal, they protected me. We choose her, Lily whispered. His heartbreak deepened. You choose the liar. No, Jacob said. We choose the mother who never stopped loving us. Michael's face crumbled. He broke into tears so violent his shoulders shook. We all watched the strongest man we knew fall apart. He didn't sign the papers. Instead fell into a chair, whispering, I don't know what to do anymore. Neither did I, but fate wasn't finished with us yet. Daniel still lurked in the shadows, waiting. We attended therapy. We spoke through tears. We learned to breathe in the same room again. It wasn't healing yet, but it was survival. Then a letter arrived addressed to Michael, from a law firm. I watched his face as he read. Color drained from him. His hands shook. What is it? I whispered. He looked at me. And for the first time since everything imploded, I saw fear in his eyes. It's about Daniel, he said. It's under investigation for fraud. And he hesitated. Human trafficking. My stomach dropped. No, no, that can't be. Michael read on, voice tremoring. He fathered multiple children with different women. It's disappearing each time. He's being accused of coercion, manipulation, and selling private medical information. I felt sick. Jacob grabbed the letter. Emma gasped. Lily covered her mouth. Daniel was not just cruel, he was a predator. The letter warned that Daniel might attempt to claim parental rights to silence victims and maintain access to children who could be used in medical identity schemes. My children weren't just emotionally at risk. They were physically endangered. Michael stood and placed his hand over mine, instinctively, protectively. We're going to fight him, he said. A flood of gratitude broke inside me. Michael, he squeezed my fingers. I don't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe never fully. But those kids are ours. No one touches them. Tears blurred my vision again, but this time they carried hope. Michael called investigators. He built legal walls around us. For the first time, he and I stood together not as lovers, but as soldiers. Daniel tried to call. He tried to visit. Tori tried to threaten. Authorities intercepted him. The past was finally cornered. And my family, broken as we were, stood united.